I am Sharon Chira with Business Time on Times Television. It is a magazine program where we bring you business and economic news stories making headlines. In the program today, ICT experts express worry over lack of collaboration, and MCCCI appoints new councillors. Hello and welcome. This is Business Time. The country's top information communication technology ICT experts meeting in Mangochi under ICTAM have expressed worry over lack of collaboration in the industry. This, the experts say, is affecting growth of the sector and its contribution to the national economy. This comes as Malawi is still among bottom economies that are lagging in terms of technology. What is at stake? Chimoma Mangazi has the whole story.
This comes as Malawi is still among economies that are lagging in terms of technology. Despite Malawi making strides in the sector over the past 5 years, lack of ICT regulation and high taxes have been undermining efforts to grow further. In his presentation to the Indawa, MHub Chief Executive Officer Vincent Kumwenda said there is need to create a conducive environment for ICT businesses to flourish.
So the digital space in Malawi it has a lot of potential. We're not there yet, so there's still a lot of areas that we're lacking, but we're making like baby steps, looking at what other countries are doing in terms of mainstreaming digital like opportunities that are able to solve like real issues that people face. We still have like opportunities that we can kind of pursue. I think there's a big mismatch between the people coming up with tech solutions, the services that people need, and the policy environment and everyone else involved in between. Because at the end of the day, we need the skills that we produce from our universities should be able to come up with solutions that are adopted by the private sector and even the consumers, and then the government and all the other policy-related entities create a conducive environment. But then you see a mismatch in that young people coming up with innovations kind of struggle to find like proper funding to scale the innovations and to have them adopted. So there is that mismatch that I think is hampering like the growth of the digital space in Malawi. For an average Malawian, an average user, when they look at tech solutions, all they need is it giving me the service that I need? Is it solving my problem? Is it addressing what I need? So there is that thing that I think people coming up with solutions need to put into consideration. Instead of showcasing the skills or that I can be able to do this, I can do that, I can develop an app that does this, but if it's not solving a specific issue, then we're not addressing the issues that we're supposed to be addressing. And then at the same time, we should be able to do those things in scale, at a scale. We should not just be able to do for 2-3 people, but we can be able to do, whether we're doing it for business, whether we're doing it for healthcare, agriculture, health, we should be able to use tech to accelerate and work efficiently and scale some of the things that we're doing here in Malawi. So I'm looking at the 3 sectors working together: the skills sector, the private sector, and government creating a conducive environment. So for the skills, people need to work on quality, people need to work on standards, people need to come up with solutions to real problems, not imaginary problems. And then the private sector should use all the resources to help them to adopt some of the solutions that are coming in, scale them, make money out of those things and make businesses out of those things. And the government obviously needs to create a conducive environment, like the policy environment, like proper connectivity, cheap like access to cheap internet and all those things that will help to drive the digital space to grow.
Spark Systems Limited Chief Executive Officer Wisely Piri said it was unfortunate that key stakeholders were still operating in isolation.
I think we have to look at the collaboration. We have to have collaboration from the schools, the universities coming to the industry, and the industry now they have to start consuming the ICT solutions. As of now, there is a very serious issue when it comes to collaboration. Like I said this idea, we've tried as Spark System to go to some of these universities, even try to bring that enthusiasm, tell them we can set up the labs where the people can be training practicing rather than just the theories. But it seems the universities are really moving at their own pace, and this is the ICT industry where within months technology is changing. The pace that our friends from the academia are moving is not matching with what we want. Then again, from the industry side, yes, we're having these innovators that are coming up with the solutions. We need to start consuming these innovations rather than as of today, people still going to India and saying, these are the guys that can do these solutions. We have the guys here with their innovation and they're showcasing it, meaning that we do have these skills in Malawi. We need to have the consumers of it, as well as where we're coming from. We need to have the collaboration with the industry and the academia.
Participants to the Indawa also argued that there is need for regulators to put in place policies that favor growth of the industry. Malawi rates ICT as key to achieving sustainable development in the years to come. The two-day conference was held under the theme Embracing Emerging Technologies for Local Solutions.
Malawi Confederation of Chambers of Commerce and Industry, MCCCI, on Thursday elected councillors to replace 5 whose seats had become vacant. The new councillors were elected at an extraordinary general meeting held at the chamber. A vacancy within the council arises when a councillor dies, circumstances arise causing the member to be deregistered, and when a councillor resigns, among other reasons. MCCCI Chief Executive Officer Chancellor Kafera Panjira said the councillors are important in providing the Secretariat with information that assists the business sector.
The idea is to make sure that as a chamber, we are in the forefront of good corporate governance. We should not have a board that has less numbers than what it is supposed to have. And the representation is also extremely important. So if the center is represented by one councillor, then they will feel that they're not well represented. So we needed to make sure that the 2 councillors are there. The same for the south and the same for the north as well. Yeah, the councillors are directors, as I said. We use the term councillor because they are elected. Normally a director is appointed, maybe by shareholders. But if you're elected, we use the term councillor. But they do exactly the same work. So basically, they provide direction to the to management, to the secretariat. Now, the job becomes a little more technical in terms of providing direction because the chamber handles a lot of issues. And as you are aware, most of the agenda items of the chamber are to do with lobbying authorities, government, ministries, agencies of government, etc., etc. We also work with the donors. So there are a lot of technical issues that arise from there, and we need guidance from the councillors or directors from time to time. So basically, their role is to provide guidance to the secretariat or to management to make sure that the issues that members of the chamber want sorted out are actually sorted out using the secretariat, but they just provide governance. In some cases, councillors also are involved in direct lobbying with government. So the reason, for example, we have 3 councillors in each region is to make sure that if there are issues that need the attention of a councillor in a specific region, those issues are attended to quickly without necessarily someone having to travel, for example, from Zuzu to sort out an issue in Blantyre. So that's why we have representation in the regions. But also from time to time, we hold regional chapter meetings because the chamber is structured in such a way that 4 times a year we have to have meetings with members in order to give them feedback on the issues that we are lobbying on and also getting new issues from members formally. So we have what we call regional chapter meetings. So when we hold the regional chapter meetings in each one of the 3 regions, our councillors also represent the president, for example. So these ones actually provide leadership also for the secretariat. So basically that's their role.
One of the newly elected councillors, Lusuwilo Jakaniza of Ethno Company Limited, said councillors also play a very crucial role.
It was a very short meeting, governance issues. They were electing for the councillors from all the 3 regions of the country. It's always good to work with one voice, and I found MCCCI to be very instrumental in speaking for the private sector. by being part of the council, I think that we are going to be effective in contributing to the growth of the private sector and also to lobby government on the issues that are challenging to us as private sector. Looking at the whole industry, I expect that whatever we agree on and whatever we can contribute for the good of the nation is going to be taken aboard by government. And we are going to work hand in hand because we are coming from a diverse portfolio. The industry is so diverse, and most of the industry will be represented, thereby making it very instrumental for industry to get good representation and also to have whatever challenges we have or we are facing solved and well taken care of.
Remember, this is Business Time on Times Television with me, Sharon Chirwa. It is a magazine program where we bring you major business and economic news stories making headlines. When we get back, we take a look at IT and how it could actually benefit more Malawians. Welcome back. Public-Private Partnership Commission has indicated that 8 public hospitals and airports will have free Wi-Fi by March next year. This is under the $72 million World Bank funded Digital Malawi project. Chimwemwe Mangazi engages PPPC digital technology specialist Victor Funsani.
The Digital Malawi project is a World Bank funded project which is being run by the Public-Private Partnership Commission in conjunction with the Ministry of Civic Education, Information and Communication Technology and MACRA. The whole idea behind this project is to improve the digital ecosystem in Malawi, to improve on the digital connectivity, especially to the public institutions, as well as improving the digital platforms for the government of Malawi. So overall, the project is looking at the enabling environment in the ICT sector. We are looking at the digital registration, new legislation like the Data Protection Act, which is being formulated at the moment. We are working on creating new regulations for the Cybersecurity Act of 2016, as well as working on new ICT strategies in government like the Digital Malawi, the Digital Government Strategy, the Broadband Strategy, as well as the e-waste. We are also working on the digital skills for the citizens in Malawi. We are working on the program to do mass ICT literacy, as well as identifying critical digital skills gap in Malawi. And on the same component, we'll be working with innovation hubs to see how best we can help them improve on the activities, as well as to reach out to many people. Actually, on component number 2 of this project, which is the digital connectivity, we have got a sub-component which is Universal Service Fund, which will be running in conjunction with MACRA. On this one, we have reserved some funds so that we can do a trial on free public Wi-Fi's. We'll be installing this free Wi-Fi service in selected regional hospitals like Zomba, Queens, Kamuzu Central, and Mzuzu. A Ministry of Health has also provided us a list of another set of 4 hospitals which we are going to do the trials. Apart from the hospitals, we'll be doing some trials on selected secondary schools across the country, as well as the 2 international airports, Lilongwe and the Blantyre Chireka Airport. Actually, all this, we'll try to do this by end of first quarter of next year. And these free private Wi-Fi will be running initially for 3 years. After 3 years, the Universal Service Fund run by MACRA should be able to take this on board. Depending on the success of this, there may be future interventions to increase the scope of the free public Wi-Fis. No, the whole Digital Mile project is around 72 million US dollars, and it's going to run for 5 years.
Now, in other business news, as a way to promote paperless money, National Bank of Malawi, NBM, launched the Swipe and Win promotion. The promotion will see cardholders winning prizes ranging from 10,000 kwacha to 50,000 kwacha per fortnight. Our reporter Lazarus Nedi spoke with the NBM head of IT, William Kaunda.
The promotion is about encouraging our customers to use their cards that they have that have been issued by National Bank. We are looking at the period in which we are going towards, which is a festive season, we all know, and we want to encourage the use of non-cash transactions. So we want our customers to, instead of using cash, they should be using their cards to make payments, and that's what the promotion is all about. The promotion will run between 15th of November through to 15th of January. So all our card holders that have got debit cards as well as credit cards are eligible to win the fortnightly prizes that have been put forward, and also a grand prize at the end of the promotion. We've not only considered card holders, we have also considered operators that will be operating the various terminals in the various business premises that those operators will be. Their eligibility is where they encourage those that are paying out on the tills to pay using their cards, and the more they transact or they operate the point of sale, the more they will be eligible to win. Of time, and no specific limit to number of transactions that one can do. Anytime, at any place, whether local or international, the eligibility will be accepted. As a bank, our major aim as a bank is to encourage the use of electronic platforms. Specifically this time around, we are looking at the use of cards. Over the time, we've noted that our drive to have the use of cards or electronic payments go up is achieving results that we have been desiring. Within National Bank, personal customers have declined use of their checks. So we are seeing use of checks going down, while the use of cards going up, and that's encouraging to us, and we want them to foster that to be done even more than checks. As I speak now, the number of cards usage is far higher than the number of check usage, and we still really want to see that the check goes to its to where it belongs, where no one should be using a check in a few years from now. As a bank, in paperless transactions, as you are seeing, we are encouraging customers to use electronic services. We've got different platforms where customers can initiate transactions on their own. Recently, in our launch of the digital banking, part of our digital banking program, the Digital Plus app, and we have introduced a way of customers enrolling themselves without papers. We are, as a bank, running a digitization project which is running from 2018 to 2022, and the main agenda is also to go as much as we can to go paperless. So we are on that track, on that front. But for today, we are talking of transactions, the program that we are already there. for the past 2 years or so, we've noted that as National Bank, the numbers of checks have dwindled, usage has gone down. Overall, in National Bank, we have 88% of transactions are electronic or electronically done. And based on that, we noticed that only less than 10% are the contribution by checks. So that gives you a picture that as National Bank we are achieving the goals of non-cash payment ecosystem.
NBM also commemorated World Diabetes Day as members of staff were encouraged to get screened for diabetes and other non-communicable diseases. NBM Corporate Affairs Manager Annie Magola added that they plan to reach out to all staff members and their family members.
14 November, it's a day that the world commemorates diabetes. We have set that clinic for our members of staff that everybody should go downstairs, take a few minutes and get screened if they have diabetes. Now, if they have diabetes, we encourage them to go and see their doctors. If they don't have diabetes, we encourage them to avoid the risk of having diabetes. So the clinic that you have seen there is set for our members of staff, that when they get a chance, they should move away from their desk, rush downstairs and get screened. In addition to diabetes, we also do high blood pressure and weight measurements. As we know, most members of staff are busy in the office. They don't have time to go to the hospital, to their clinics, and get screened or tested of these issues. Diabetes is one of the key challenges in terms of health in our country. Many people are dying, many people are suffering, many people are in the hospital because of diabetes and high blood pressure. We want to avoid this amongst our members of staff. Therefore, we're encouraging them, after today's screening and testing, it should be a habit for them that they should always go to the hospital, to the doctors, and have tested and screened so that they remain healthy. As the bank, we want our members of staff to be healthy. In extension to this, we also want them afterwards to encourage their members of the family to also get screened and tested. It should be everybody's responsibility to make sure that they are healthy. When we were told about today by the partners that we're working with, Lions Club, they said we can extend it, not necessarily today. So we will extend to our other service centers after today.
Well, with that story, we've also come to the end of today's edition of Business Time right here on Times Television. It is a magazine program where we bring you major business and economic news stories making headlines. From me, Sharon Jirwa, and the entire business team, this is goodbye. But do remember, if it doesn't make money, it doesn't make sense.